how do you call these things? Capsicum, bell pepper, or something else? Doesn't matter. I'm going to show you how to roast these and make them super delicious and at the same time last for a very long time. G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back to Sam Kitchen. My name is Sam Lin. I am a home cook who's really passionate about sustainability and more importantly, save money by making things at home, and hopefully I can be helping you guys do the same in your own kitchen as well. So this week we are going to be cooking something that is right in the season right now, which is capsicum or bell pepper, wherever you're from. This thing, you can't miss it. This is available anywhere in the world. It's no secret that I am just the biggest fan of trying to save money through cooking. When this is in season, it's just such a treat. And I've been going to my local grocery and then just get boxes of second fruit and veg, or normally they are just about to go off. One box of vegetables is $3 to $5 and I can live off this for over a week, and that is just a crazy amount of money that I'm able to save. So leave a comment down below and let me know if you'd like to go shopping with me at some point. I'll take you to my local groceries and show you how I pick my fruit and veg. But anyway, back to this week's topic. We've got some capsicums that we're going to be roasting and then preserving them. So these things are super versatile. Obviously these are great for stir fries, but when I get a mass amount of capsicums, it's a bit of a waste for them to just go moldy and rotten. Doesn't matter how well you try to preserve them as fresh. So I'm going to show you how we can cook these up, preserve them, and they are perfect for sandwiches or salad or whatever. So without further ado, let's get cooking.
So capsicum is in season at the moment, and preserving it by marinade just makes a lot of sense. So we'll obviously need some capsicum for ingredient. Next, we want some garlic to go into the marinade, some salt to season. Last but not the least, olive oil to preserve the capsicum. That is all we need for the super easy recipe. We'll put these aside and get started. Before we start prepping the ingredients, first thing to do is we're going to turn on the oven and get it ready to roast our capsicum. We want the oven on 200 degrees Celsius on grill. We don't need a huge amount of heat to cook our capsicum, but instead, we need the grill function to help us peel off the skin. While the oven is preheating, we're going to prep our capsicum. And as always, make sure to have the compost box ready. We want to keep our capsicum as chunky as possible, but also small enough that we can lay it flat when in the oven. Quarters is a good way to go about it in my opinion. Halfway through, I realized the knife is super dull, so I went and sharpened it. It's much safer to cut with a sharp knife than letting a dull knife slip and hurt yourself. Get rid of the core and seeds, and that is one capsicum done. I had about 5 to 7 older looking capsicums already chopped up from a few days ago to prevent them from rotting more. Next, we want to lay them out flat and roast them. I don't actually own a baking tray at home, but instead, a cast iron pan works just fine. It's the smallest things like this, being resourceful and also utilize tools that I already have in multiple ways, that helps with obviously saving money, but also reduce the clutter at home and minimizes the carbon footprint generated from if I was to purchase a baking tray. Lay the capsicums out flat and skin side up, so the indirect heat in the oven can be applied on the skin. They will shrink a little bit, so don't be shy if they get a little bit crowded in the pan. Once they are all done, we'll put them in the oven for about 20 minutes or until the capsicum skins are all blistered. Into the oven, I have the top pan about 10 to 15 centimeters from the top heating element to make sure that they are all evenly roasted. They look so warm and cuddly in the oven. While the capsicums are roasting in the oven, we come back to the chopping board and prep our garlic. With about 5 to 7 capsicums, I'm cutting up half a head of garlic, but feel free to adjust the amount based on your personal preferences. Crush the garlic up as always to get that nice allicin enzyme out to the full potential. That will also keep the vampires away. Plus it's much easier to peel once they're all crushed. Once all peeled, slice them thinly and turn it 90 degrees to chop it up real good. Obviously you can use a grater or a garlic crusher. whatever your heart desires. Put it to the side and it's time to check on the capsicums. The top end is looking real nice and roasted, so I swap them around and go for another 10 minutes. This is what the capsicums should look like once they are all done. So they are still quite hot, so I put them in the same pan and cover it just to let the residual heat to cook them through. I gave it about 10 to 15 minutes, or when it's no longer finger burning hot. Many recipe videos would just cover it with plastic wrap. Totally unnecessary and environmentally not friendly. So coming back, our capsicum is much softer now being cooked through in the pan. Next, we're going to peel the outer skin off. This step is not essential, as the skin won't actually affect the results of the marinade. It's just that texturally, the end product will come out much more consistent if the skin was not there. The benefit of roasting the capsicums in the oven is for the evenness. Most of the pieces, I was able to just peel it right off super easily. For the odd pieces that won't cooperate, just grab a knife and scrape it clean. It's so very easy. There were a couple of pieces that didn't get roasted as well, so I had to punish it a little bit. Once all of the skins are peeled, we want to chop them into strips. This is optional and really depends on what you're going to use the capsicums for. I'm thinking sandwiches, so smaller pieces is a great idea. But you can totally just leave them chunky. The texture of cooked capsicum is incredible, super soft and super meaty. Once all of them are sliced up, I measure the weight of the capsicum and added 2% salt to it. I find 2% salt is a good amount of seasoning for most things, so when in doubt, I go with 2%. That is 2% of weight of the cooked capsicum. Last but not the least, our garlic. At this stage, you're welcome to add in additional herbs or black pepper based on your preferences. I kept it super simple just to keep our costs down. Give it a good mixing so our garlic can be distributed evenly. Taste test is always necessary. Last step, we're going to find a clean jar to store our capsicum. Make sure the jar is clean and dry so the capsicum don't get molded. Moisture is a big no-no here. Get our capsicum in a jar. Look at the beautiful color. Press it down a bit just to get as much air out as possible. And then we top it up with some olive oil, just enough to submerge the capsicum so it's not exposed to air. Also, while we press down the capsicum, so less olive oil is needed here. Once this is all done, we're going to put the jar in the fridge to let the flavor marinate overnight. It can be stored in the fridge for, I'd say, a good 2 weeks. So it's the next day and capsicum is looking very good. I'm going to make a sandwich for lunch using the marinated capsicum. I got some of my sourdough, some Lacto fermented mustard, and just some tasty cheese. Sourdough on the bottom, spread out some mustard. And our star of the day, marinated capsicum. Put on a healthy layer of it on the toast, and then we finish up with a good amount of tasty cheese. I'm really keen to know if it's just me being lazy, or you also add thick cuts of layered of cheese instead of shredded cheese. Tell me in the comments section below. I'd be happy with this as is if I was to bring this into work, but since I'm at home, why the hell not go the extra mile and toast it? Melty cheese? Yes please. Now assembly time. Such a humble sandwich, but man, it's delicious. The cost breakdown is as below. 7 capsicums from the veggie box was about $1. Half a head of garlic is about 30 cents. 10 grams of salt at $9 per kilo equals to 9 cents. 30 grams of extra virgin olive oil at 53 cents per 100 mils equals to 15.9 cents. Altogether, the jar of marinated capsicum costed us $1.54.9 cents to make. It's super versatile and it will make a good 10 to 15 sandwiches easily. Alright, and there we have it. We got our marinated capsicum or bell pepper done. It's such a good way to preserve the delicious peppery flavor in a jar, and this will last for so much longer than just fresh capsicum in the fridge. And over here, I just made some sandwich for my lunch. It's so simple. Homemade bread, homemade mustard, a little bit of cheese, and then wrap it up. That is a perfect office lunch for me, and I would eat this any day. Anyway, I'm going to dig in and let you know how it tastes like.
The capsicum is packed with flavor. It's slightly salty, and the garlic flavor just works so well with our marinated capsicum. And over here, this is perfectly vegetarian. There's no meat added, and you can obviously swap out the cheese with some vegan option. And this is super healthy, really good for you, and also we're able to preserve these deliciousness for so long. Homemade sourdough, my god, it's such a bomb. It just holds all of the ingredients together so well, alongside with our lacto fermented mustard over in here. If you haven't checked out the recipe already, I'll put a link down in the section below. It's so easy, but also it's fermented, really good for your gut, and adds so much flavor to this. This capsicum just packs such a punch, and is a perfect substitution for any meaty ingredients that goes in sandwiches. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button down below and think about maybe subscribing to the channel. I have a new video coming out every fortnightly. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get back to my lunch, and I will see you in the next video.